Om Shanti. Today in the Murli, Baba is telling that we Brahmin children are even higher than the deities because we are godly children. Deities will be born to deities, but we are born to Baba himself, and Shiv Baba is our parent. So we are higher in status than even deities. And Baba says even deities won't know what you know right now. And we know the three aspects of time and the three worlds. So Trilok and Trikal. We know both these things. So Baba says even the deities won't know that they have come from the soul world. They won't know the subtle region or the soul world. But you know all the three worlds, and you know the past, present and future. And Baba says the deities won't know the past, present and future. If the deities knew that they are going to fall down and become ordinary, that wouldn't be good news for them. So they don't know all that. We know that. So we know all the history and geography, and we are learning from Baba. And Baba says, you are the master knowledgeful at this time. And Baba tells us that the whole world says that God is the bestower of intellect, buddhivano ki buddhi. And everybody says, give me buddhi to God. But then when he comes and tells us, then we say that, in the world people say the BKs are talking something that is not mentioned in the scriptures, or it's not mentioned here or there. And so where is this new knowledge coming from? And then we tell them it's God telling us, and then they say how that's not possible, so there's something wrong here. But Baba says you always said that when God would come, he would tell you something that you don't know. So I've come here and I'm telling you what the truth about the past, present and future and the three worlds which nobody knows. And it is interesting that Baba says that nobody knows even a quarter of the history. So if you see, so quarter of the history they know, Baba says nobody knows even half of the history totally. And if you look in the world, not more than 2500 years of dated recorded history do we have. And that too also from 2000 years onwards, it is not very regular. So Baba says we don't have the whole of history. And nobody knows that 2500 years ago there was the deity religion, and that Sri Lakshmi Narayan and their 8 dynasties, and then Sri Ram, Sri Sita, and 12 pairs of Sri Ram, Sri Sita, they ruled the kingdom of India. They don't know all that. So Baba says that I give you all this history, and then I also tell you that before that you were in the soul world and you were sitting there bodiless, ageless, genderless, casteless, nothing, in your original religion of peace. And nobody else tells you all this. And then nobody tells you that time is cyclical and that you're again going to, it's very interesting that everybody knows that after night there will be dawn and then day. But then what after Kali Yuga? So we know that in the Shastra also they say that there is the day of Brahma and the night of Brahma. So after the night of Brahma, there has to be again the day of Brahma. But and before the day, there has to be the sun. That's why God is called the Son of Knowledge. But then when He comes, most people don't recognize Him. And then Baba says, I come and again take you to Satyug. So this cyclical process, most people don't know that there is Satyug, Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug, Kal Yug. And then again there is Baba coming and creating Satyug. So this whole history, this whole cycle, people don't know. So Baba says all this. Now, what I was thinking today is that, you see, it is so important and so powerful to know our history. And you see that, sometimes in the world you understand that you hear things like, this didn't happen in Bharat 500 years back, or this is not our culture, or this is not how we behaved, or this is now not our food habit, and this came from the West, or this came from here and there. And then you suddenly have a sense that this is not who I am. And you can actually see that habit. Even if you are in that habit, you know that this habit has come to me from outside. It is not my original habit. Have you felt that? So if somebody tells you that this cooking style or this culture or this kind of dress we didn't wear in earlier times, but now there is cultural infiltration and then these things have come in. So you realize that this is me and this is not me, and then I have taken that up, but I can give it up because that is not originally me. And Baba tells us that when I teach you history and geography, I give you a sense of who you really are. So when Baba says that in the soul world, I was just a soul, and I am that very soul right now also, and whatever body consciousness has come into me is alien to me. So do you understand that when you see yourself as a soul and when you see yourself in body consciousness, so many sanskars, so many tendencies, so many desires, they appear natural to you, which are not actually natural. So let's say when you think of yourself as somebody who has age, yes, do you think so? Age is not a factor of the soul. The soul is ageless. But when you think about yourself, you think about yourself as somebody who has age. Yes, and then you have a gender. So you are either a male or a female. And do you understand that all your desires and your thought processes are very linked to your identity as a man or woman and the age you think you are in? Yes. So when you are young, you think that, when according to the age of the body, you think that I am a 16-year-old, so I need accomplishment, and then as an 18-year-old, I need a partner and I need a friend, and then later on you feel that you need a job. So sometimes, when you are 21, a job is okay if you have it, not have it. But when it is 25 or 26, then a job is a very big need, and then you feel like if you don't have a job, then you are a nobody. And then when you're not married at 26, 27, it's okay. But when it crosses 30, 31, 32, then you are a nobody if you're not married. So all these, you see, all these desires, the desire to have a job, or the urgency to have a job, or the urgency to have a relationship, or the urgency to get married, or the urgency to have a child, they are all linked to our age consciousness, right? And the urgency to be protected, to have somebody who would protect you, or the urgency to be financially stable and have somebody you can protect, that is linked to the gender. So when I think I'm a female and I have reached a certain age, then I feel the urgency to have someone in my life who would protect me. And then if I'm a male, then I feel that there is an urgency that somebody comes into my life who I can protect or I can fend for. So all these things are very related to age and age, gender, and other consciousness. And I will tell you that this is so deeply ingrained in us that even when some soul is in a female body and you're very well equipped, you're financially capable, you are educated, you can take care of yourself, you can provide for yourself, still you feel that you are alone if you don't find a company. And even when somebody is in an abusive relationship, I have seen that there are women who are in abusive relationships, and I have seen cases where not only the woman but the woman's daughter is also the subject of abuse by the father. And in such a situation also, and I have talked to them personally, and they choose to continue with the man but not leave the man, because that woman feels that even when the man is not doing anything, contributing anything, and even when he is beating both of them up or physically abusing both of them, still he is an asset, because it's some kind of programming in the mind that a man is necessary. Or even if a man is fully capable of raising children and taking care of them, still he would prefer to get married again if the woman dies, because he thinks that he would be lonely without a woman and he cannot take care of everything without the woman. So there are so many things, so many ideas that are there within us relating to marriage and livelihood and jobs and desires. Even when people say that physical desires are natural, they are very related to age. So at a certain age you start thinking that this is natural and normal and necessary. So all of that is linked to body consciousness. So, you suddenly, so until yesterday you didn't mind people not respecting you or say bowing down in front of you, but when you assume a certain position, then you are suddenly the boss, you cleared IAS or something, and then you are the boss, and then suddenly you mind if people are not bowing down to you. So that comes with the position, all that ego of and feeling insulted, they all come with the position and the money. So the more money you earn, the more you start feeling offended by people's behavior. So all of that is linked to this world and this body, this age, this gender, this caste, this religion, everything. So Baba says, knowing who you really are helps you distinguish between who you really are and who you are not, but you have become by being trained into it. Yes, and then when you start, so what is meditation? So today is International Yoga Day, and it's a good day to discuss meditation. And so when we meditate, so what is meditation? Meditation is connecting with, through your man and buddhi. So first thing is, yoga has got nothing to do with the body. Yoga is about the man and buddhi, and the soul is always in yoga with someone or something. So yoga is not something that we do only when we are sitting consciously, but you're always in yoga with someone or something. That's why we talk about collective consciousness. We talk about, our consciousness affecting the other beings and everything else in the world, because we are all interconnected. So the man and buddhi is always connected to something or the other. If I ask you, where is your yoga right now? So who do you have yoga with? Yes. So if you are having yoga with me right now, then you are listening to the class. And if you don't have yoga with me, then even if I am talking a lot of things, but then nothing enters your inner system, because your yoga is not with me. So you have to have yoga. You always have yoga with someone or something. Now, if your yoga is with what is being cooked in the kitchen for breakfast right now, or what you have to cook after the class, or where you have to go for work after the class, then you can even feel stressed while listening to the class, because that stress becomes part of you. That thought about the work you have to do or the cooking you have to do can become stress, can make you feel stressed at this point of time also. So Baba says, when we talk about yoga, which is to be practiced, so this is something that in Kali Yuga we are always connected with, low consciousness and low energy, low vibration people, places and things. And that's why getting depleted is so natural. Yes, we are always getting constantly depleted, because we are connected with this low vibration all the time, with this Kali Yugi people, places and things all the time. Now, what is the yoga we should aim at, or what is the yoga we should practice consciously? So Baba tells, remember Baba, remember your home, remember your new world, and remember your whole journey in which you were in your perfect stages. And when you have, now Baba says that spin the Swadershan Chakra. So Swadershan Chakra means you were a point of light in the soul world, then a deity in Satyug, then people worshipped you for 2500 years, your images in temples. Now you are the one chosen by Baba, you are a good Brahmin, and then you are going to be an angel. So Baba says, consciously have yoga. So turn your man and buddhi towards Baba, towards your home, towards your perfect stages in the whole cycle. And what happens is, by turning your man and buddhi there, you connect yourself with that higher consciousness, and then it becomes part of you. And then your vibrations, your thoughts, your actions here start changing. And then this world starts changing through the effect of those new actions. So this is something that Baba says. And in the Murli today, Baba says that there are some people who come to take the inheritance of Satyug in Madhuban, in Mount Abu, and then there are some who just come, roam and go away. they come for a visit to Mount Abu. So Mount Abu is a tourist place. And it is interesting that yesterday there was one Mata who had come to the center, and she told me that, Didi, I came in Gyan in 2016, but my husband had gone to Madhuban, to Mount Abu, in 2000. In the year 2000, his friend had taken him there, and when he came from Madhuban, I had not gone at that time. When he came from Madhuban, he told me the amras there was very good, and the food was very good, and there was, the atmosphere was very good, and especially the food. He just kept praising the food. And then she said, I heard the praise of the amras and the food there for 5 years, but he never told me anything else about Madhuban. And you see, Didi, had he told me at that time, I wouldn't have wasted 16 years of my life, and I would have gone there earlier, or gone to a center earlier. And then I told her it's destined that way. But why I'm giving you this example is, you see, Baba says that when I come, I'm giving you, so there is the physical palna, there is food, there is silence, there is everything in the center. But then what is the main thing to learn? The main thing to learn is, I am a soul, I have a man and buddhi, and I have the capacity to withdraw my man and buddhi from this old world and take it to places and to Baba where there is high vibration and higher frequency. And by doing that, I would change the world around me, because that vibration will become my vibration, and that will change the world around me. And this is why Baba says, I tell you the truth about the soul world. I tell you the truth about Satyugi state. I tell you the truth about myself, so that you can, through your buddhi, through your understanding, when it sits in your buddhi, you can connect with me. And this is yoga. And this yoga is going to change the world into heaven. So Baba says you must pay attention to this yoga. And this is why Baba gives us the knowledge about how we are in the soul world. So the more and more you sit in that awareness that I am just a star of light with purity and peace and nothing else. All my desires, all my tendencies, they have been conditioned into me through this body consciousness. Yes. So I remember that there was this sister, and she told me that my mother-in-law is very cruel. And I asked her, why do you say that? So she said she doesn't allow us any freedom. And I said, why? So she said that, in my neighborhood, everybody wears suit, salwar kameez. All married women wear salwar kameez. But my mother-in-law doesn't allow that, and I have to always wear a sari. So I said, apart from that, anything else? So she said, nothing. So the only thing that the mother-in-law says is, don't wear a salwar kameez, wear a sari. But that's why she's the villain of life. Why? Because everybody around you does that. Now I asked her another question. I said, if you were in a village and everybody around you was wearing a sari, and so was that okay there? So she said, yes, that was okay there. So you see that this body consciousness, that you are living in a locality where everybody is allowed something, but you are not allowed that. that is giving you a trauma. So Baba says that you see so many things. Let's say that I once read read an article, and it was talking about how contentment is not good for the economy. So the economy, so those who are working for the economy, they don't want you to be contented. So they will always tell you that, if you have less hair, then you need a transplant, or you need a hair cream, or you need something. Or if you're dark skinned, then you cannot, sit comfortably in the dark skin. You have to make a lot of effort and turn fair. Or, even if you're fair and you have good hair and everything, still you need a little extra makeup, because you would look more beautiful when you did that. And if you didn't do that, then you're doing something wrong with yourself. So all of these things, they are, or, if you have a car, but, you don't have a high priced car, then you don't belong to that group. You belong to only somebody who has a car for convenience, but, you have luxury cars and you have the high end ones. So all that is there. So we are conditioned to feel bad about who we currently are through these commercials and these, the pressures of society and how others around us are, and that sets the bar for what is normal and that you are functioning below normal. So Baba tells us that you are just a soul and you don't have any needs whatsoever. So even the need for appreciation or recognition, or the need for being respected, the need to be being respected, or being, what do you say, somebody should say namaste to you or bow down to you. All those needs are conditioned into us. We are conditioned into feeling needy about that. So Baba says, the more you remind yourself of who you really are, then you will start to distinguish between what is original and what is acquired. And then even when that which is acquired, which is now a part of you, comes up, you will be able to see it dispassionately and deal with it. So let's say there is resentment and frustration coming from unfulfilled desires. So you are able to look at that dispassionately, that this is something that I have been conditioned into, and I have to deal with it seated in my original power. So I always say that you will not say I am peaceless. You will say I am a peaceful soul, but I have a sanskar of peacelessness which I will deal with. Or I am a contented soul and this desire is coming from my sanskar and I will deal with it. So Baba says this is how, if you know who you really are, it helps you go back to your original state. And then Baba says, when you think about Satyug, so Satyug is a state where you are in a body. So in the soul world, you don't have a body. But in Satyug, you have a body, but you don't have age consciousness, you don't have gender consciousness, you don't have vices. So you don't feel the pull of lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed in Satyug. So every thought, every word, every behavior of yours is full of love and purity and spiritual power. So Baba says the more you think about how you were in Satyug and how virtues are very normal for you and they come very naturally to you, then you will be able to go back to your Satyugi state. Yes. So if one day you just in the morning Amrit Vela, you decide that today I'm going to behave like a deity all day. Yes. So will a deity, let's say somebody is doing something which is, so somebody is cleaning the floor, right? And then they are not cleaning it properly. So they are leaving the dirt on the side and something. So how would a deity respond? Would they shout at them, or would they just look at them and get irritated inside that this person is not doing the job well? So we all know how a deity would think, right? So we know that I, as a deity, would look at that soul, and then with love, I would tell that soul that you can clean it like this. And then that correction would happen. So Baba says that when you think about your deity state, then it helps you to design a strategy, come up with a strategy where you can do everything, be in relationships, do work, everything, but your devilish sanskars don't show up. So this is why Baba says this is the only time when you ascend, when you can, go up in your stage. From Satyug to Kaliyug, you only descend, because this is the only time when you have access to the knowledge of higher states. And when you know better, you can do better. So you know you were better than this at this time, because Baba tells us that. And what did the world tell us? The world told us, the scientists told us that you were a monkey and you have done much better than that. So don't try to do any better. You are already doing very well. So that's why we are all being very complacent about who we are, and we are falling gradually every day. So the scientist community has told us you've already come a long way from being a monkey to a human. Don't aspire much more. This is the maximum you can get at. But Baba tells us that no, you were a soul completely stable in your Swadharam, in the soul world, and then you were a deity. So you still have that potential inside you. It's there in your memory. The more you think about it, you can access it. And then Baba tells us that you have the ability to give, because your pictures have been, being worshipped by everybody for 2500 years, and people have received solace from your pictures. So if they can receive solace from your pictures, can't you give everybody peace and solace right now? So when you think about that worship-worthy deity who sits in the temple and looks at every visitor, every onlooker with detachment. So have you seen a deity's picture getting angry when somebody says that, you have not helped me? So have you seen people go to temples and they scold the deities also? So they say, you have not been helpful and you have not helped me in the right time. And does the deity stop smiling at that? No. So your pictures don't stop smiling. Then why do you stop smiling if somebody has a complaint from you? So the thing is, you see, if somebody comes and has a complaint from you, that means that they are coming having a complaint, but they also have the hope that you are going to make it right. That's why they're coming and giving their complaint to you. So you don't look at the complaint, you look at the hope with which they have come, and you give them what they need. Yes, so, and sometimes people come and they tell us that we are not doing good work. They come in the center and they tell us that. So I asked them, did you come this long way to tell me this? So then we start talking and they ultimately tell me that they want peace. So you must understand that everybody is seeking what you are having and what you are capable of giving. So never look at what they are saying. Look at that soul as somebody who has come to Baba's door, you know. When they come to you, they have come to Baba's door. And then they should leave full-handed. They shouldn't go empty-handed. So Baba says, when you start thinking about yourself as a worship-worthy deity, then the sanskars of giving and serving would emerge inside you. And then Baba says Brahmin. And I think, you know, when I think about Brahma Baba, because we have to follow Brahma Baba, and Brahma Baba is the template for who we want to become. And when I think about Brahma Baba, I feel that Brahma Baba was someone who gave up all his energy, time, wealth, thought, everything to build, to build a culture of purity. So Brahma Baba understood that a pure world will be created through the practice of purity. Yes, and he gave up everything to support those who embraced purity. Yes, so what was so special about those 350 or 400 souls who Brahma Baba sustained with his own wealth for 14 years? So those souls agreed to be yogi and pure. So, and purity, so yoga, you cannot figure out who does how much yoga, but purity is the main thing. So Baba understood that purity is important, and the souls who agree to practice purity and, you know, make an effort to be pure, they have to be supported, because it is purity that will change the world. So when I'm a good Brahmin, I do everything to create and sustain this culture of purity in Sangam Yuga. Yes, I understand the importance of purity, and you know that before, so there are many people who have realized that purity can work wonders. Gandhiji also said that if everybody became celibate, then India would become free from the British rule. Do you know this? So Gandhiji had also figured this out, that purity has great power. But he didn't have the power to profess this, you know, or propose this, because he knew that people wouldn't be nice and favoring if he said that. So only God has the power to pass this ordinance of purity. And that's why Shiv Baba comes, and Brahma Baba had the strength, the guts to be Shiv Baba's instrument, who stood as the front runner and fought for, not fought literally, but through his yoga power with Shiv Baba, he established this culture of purity. And practicing purity became a choice, became a norm. So Baba says that as a Brahmin, you understand the importance of purity, the importance of a pure life, the importance of a yogi life. And this is Brahmin consciousness. So in the world, people think that being viceless or being pure is impossible. But when you start thinking about yourself as the mouth-born creation of Shiv Baba, who Shiv Baba created through Brahma Baba, then you know that you have the power to be pure and yogi, and create a pure world. So I'm not an ordinary soul, I'm a Brahman. I'm Shiv Baba's creation through Brahma Baba. So I can embrace purity and create a pure world. That's the spirit, that's the sense and strength that you get by practicing the consciousness that I'm a Brahmin. So, and then there is the angel. So Baba says that, I am telling you your whole cycle. I'm telling you, and Baba tells us that every cycle you've been a Brahmin. Every cycle you've been a deity, a worship worthy soul. You are a soul. So when you just connect with these stages and then you look at yourself as Baba's child, the master ocean in everything, then this yoga will not only change you, not only make you realize who you are, but this yoga will also reinstate the glory of Bharat. Okay, so Baba talks about this today, and Baba says nobody knows who you were or where you came from, but you are the ones who know this, and you're the only ones who can ascend. Everybody else only descends because they don't know better than themselves. But you know all your good states, you know all your high states. So by connecting to them, you can again go back to your stage of ascension. Okay, Om Shanti.